Yeah, you actually said it right. Thank you. Yeah, the 50-50 shot on that.
All right, so calling this meeting of DSAC to order. It is January 8th. My name is Rachel Purcell. I'm the chair of DSAC. And for this meeting, we're welcoming a new representative from Republic to the advisory committee named Paul Coster. So do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Hi, yeah, I'm Paul Costner. I've taken over the job of the previous environmental manager. I've been here 72 hours, so that's a little leeway on any questions, and I can defer to the GM for any of that. I come from way of another landfill that I was at for 2.5 years, so I'm familiar with landfill protocols and processes and things like that. So, but if I don't have an answer for you, I'll find it out.
Great.
For you.
Great.
So.
And then also in attendance, we have Charlie Carroll, David Lindsay, Chuck Gilbert, Jeff Mears, Dr. Burrell. Is this your last meeting?
It was my last meeting.
Okay. And on the phone, we have David Hackelman. Is there anyone else from the committee on Zoom?
Well, I'll be listening and I'll comment if I need to.
All right, great. So we have a kind of action-packed committee meeting. So I'm just going to dive straight into it and start with public comment. I don't actually see any members of the public
Online.
in attendance, but there are a bunch of folks online. But Billy, do you just want to call people in order?
Sure. Debbie, do you want to go first?
I'm just observing.
Okay. Ken, do you have any input?
Minutes.
Yes, I do. So, good evening, committee members and the public. My name is Ken Eklund, and I live in Soap Creek Valley in Benton County. I sent 4 discussions to committee members a few days ago and like to follow those up with some action items for the committee. The first discussion is me pushing back on Brett Davis saying that Republic was not aware of any enforcement action against the landfill. I responded with a link to a video shot in Washington, Senator Jeff Merkley asking the head of the EPA, Michael Regan, what was being done about Coffin Butte landfill, given all the violations there. And Michael Regan saying that he could confirm the EPA was coordinating with Oregon DEQ on the case, but it was an active enforcement situation, so he couldn't say more. So the action item I would suggest for the committee, I think that you should write to Oregon DEQ and ask if there's a file open on Coffin Butte. So the second discussion item, last meeting, someone said all landfills emit methane. And so I responded with observations about the difference between normal operational emissions, what I call background emissions, and the emissions that result from system failure, which I call catastrophic emissions. In terms of scale, the background emissions at Coffin Butte are claimed to be around 5 metric tons of landfill gas a day. The catastrophic emissions that we're looking at, however, are around 5 metric tons of landfill gas every 90 minutes. The action item I'd suggest for the committee and members of the public, you can do this too. Go to carbonmapper.org, click on the map of Oregon, and just take a look at some landfills. Be sure to click the box to show null detects. Show null detects. There are plenty of null detects at other Oregon landfills, which is to say, plenty of times when Carbon Mapper flew over them and didn't detect any catastrophic emissions. But at Coffin Butte, you see catastrophic emissions every time they go over. The third discussion is about DSAC's scope and goals. It's important to look at ORS 459.325, which is the state law that assigns duties to DSAC. This statute is the horse that pulls the whole DSAC cart. The thing I'll call attention to, and NRAC people, this pertains to you, is that the state law specifies that DSAC be a forum for community comments. That's central to its mission. So the answer to the question of why DSAC isn't reviewing the application to expand the landfill comes down to this, in my mind. Benton County didn't feel it could keep DSAC from hearing public testimony about the landfill. It would run up against state law. But Benton County did feel it could keep NRAC from hearing public testimony about the landfill. So there you go. That's my explanation, at least for what otherwise seems to be a nonsensical decision. Of course, how NRAC handles the question of engaging with the public is an NRAC decision, not the county's. Bottom line, it's up to NRAC, just as what the committee does, bottom line is up to the committee. So the fourth discussion, the comprehensive plan is the county's official policy guide. The goal of all county actions is to implement what the comp plan says. Finding 6.5.f of the comp plan says the county will heavily monitor the landfill and keep it in compliance. My point here is that falls on DSAC to do. Is there anyone else doing it? I don't think so. When I was on DSAC, we were handed a report that showed that the latest landfill inspection had revealed over 100 leaks, air quality violations, all going on at the same time. That report was just slipped into our meeting packet without comment. I doubt anyone at the county even looked at it. My point is, DSAC has shown good initiative so far in pursuing these kinds of inquiries into what's going on at the landfill. And the county comprehensive plan supports you in pursuing those inquiries. So thanks for your service, committee. I'm happy to answer any questions. If anyone wants to see the document I'm referring to with the 4 discussions in it, let Bailey know and he can provide it to you. That's probably the easiest way.
Thank you, Ken. Does anyone on the committee have any questions for Ken?
I have a question, Ken, Ms. Bailey. Is that the information you've already sent me?
Yes, I sent it to all the committee members, except for Paul Coster, I guess, because I didn't know I didn't have an email.
Sure.
Yeah, I think my question is more directed to Bailey about Ken's comment here. So is the disposal, and this is my second meeting, so I'm still wrapping my brain around this thing here. So about what our mission is that accurate that this committee is the primary mechanism for reviewing? I'm reading Ken's compliance. I mean, are we reviewing compliance with permits? Is that true, or is the county doing that? Or I was under the assumption, Ken, that was DEQ's role. So I am confused on all of this, is who is ultimately responsible for that, because.
I mean, maybe we can put a pin in that one because on the agenda.
Maybe that's a real big gnarly topic.
I think it isn't somewhat gnarly topic, but we do actually have some time set aside on the agenda today.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Thanks for raising it.
Any other questions?
I think for now.
Okay. Thank you.
No, I
sorry.
mean, I have more comments than questions, so, no questions. I mean, Ken's been, quite enthusiastic about this carbon mapper. I think, I think one needs to be careful when there's kind of implication here that, implying that, well, there might be, as far as a, enforcement action against this particular landfill. I think we need to be careful here that there's been some things implied that, that I see, there's been, Ken included some the language from Jeff Merkley, but there's been no formal enforcement action. I think that needs to be emphasized, that even though people in the government and other places may talk about it, well, if it was really happening, why haven't we seen anything? And so I think Public Services, is saying they've been notified of any enforcement action. That's a formal process. The regulatory agency notifies you and sends you a letter, and so that I did read your email briefly, but I just wanted to make sure that we're clear on that. Are we? I guess the question I'll ask: are we accusing Republic of misrepresenting any enforcement action on them, or it's just kind of out there, rumor and discussion of being maybe implied that might happen? Well, that's a lot different than whether it's happened or not.
I'm just reading through Ken's
Right.
excerpt, the EPA.
Well, I mean, Ken is saying you don't have a straight story. Well, I mean, do you want nuances and rumors and things like that? Or is, and I think we need to clarify that right now. Are we going on nuances and rumors, or has there been any enforcement action or any impending? Is this a yes or no? And let's get that on the table right now.
I think, so my read on the situation is that Ken is highlighting what seems to be an inconsistency. So Republic has said there's no active investigation. And
Well,
he's
no,
got-
it's not investigation. I mean, they can investigate all they want, but is there any notification for enforcement action? Investigation is ongoing because they're constantly monitoring and reviewing.
Right, yeah, that was probably the wrong word.
Right.
But the thing that I think he was flagging was that the head of the EPA, Mike Regan, said that it is an active enforcement situation. That's the language that I think he was flagging.
I guess I disagree with you.
Yeah.
But I also disagree with you because we don't have a good informed piece of information from Republic about what is going on. And if you recall, I don't think you were here, but I think Ian was, when we started discussing this and we spent a lot of time on it, what we said was, write up and tell us what you're doing and what it means, so that it's on paper and the committee can look at it and we have a fair assessment, instead of, as you say, we have rumor and innuendo and back and forth. I would say that we would want to see the methane discussion in the annual report from you anyway, because it seems to be a public concern. And I think the more information, you may not like to give us information because it's not pleasant sometimes, but the more you give us, the better we are. The more likely we are to understand what you're doing and not go jumping to conclusions.
This on? Is it on now?
Yeah.
So I'll restate what Ian McNabb stated, and that all that information has been in the annual reports consistently. And I also will say that I find it very offensive that I'm accused of lying or misleading this committee, and that me saying that there's no violations, I'm not trusted in saying that. So if there's a ongoing investigation, I suggest the committee ask DEQ, EPA, whoever, for that public information, because we have lobbyists that have asked for that information. We have not received a notice of violation. We have no knowledge of investigation from local or corporate people. And so it's insulting that I'm being called a liar. That's how I feel about it. So I have no reason to mislead this group or to lie to this group. Yes, there were findings. Yes, there were exceedances. And we have a process in place to address those as they happen. We have received no notice of violation, no notice of investigation, and no punitive measures have come our way.
Okay. I appreciate that. And we certainly don't want to imply that you're
No.
lying.
Well, that's how Ken's message came across in the email, that I have no reason to trust Brett Davis, who's under investigation, and it could be in this, being fined by EPA. Why would we believe him? So that implies that I'm lying or that I'm hiding something, correct?
I mean, I really can't speak to what Ken is saying.
Well, that's how it's taken.
Okay. So noted, thank you. Brett, before you sit back down, I was just curious, do you know what Mike Regan might have been referring to in that text? No idea?
No, again,
Yeah, no, it's okay.
we have lobbyists as well.
Yeah.
And we've reached out and asked if there's an ongoing investigation. I'd have to kind of defer to Julie here because she knows more of the political side of things. But it's my understanding that we have not been made aware of any formal investigations of Republic Services in Coffin Butte Landfill.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Chair, if I might interject.
Yeah.
I also contacted EPA to find out what the status was and did not get a response. That was several months ago.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, why don't we move on? Are there any other people that can you remind me what the time limit is for your testimony? Is it 3 minutes
Per
person.
per person? Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to talk? I see some comments in the chat here. Jason, Bernie, would either of you like to provide comment? Hearing none. Kevin, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
No, not tonight. Thank you much. One thing I would wonder, is there any update on the application? If, is that something you're gonna mention tonight, that'd be great to know.
Yeah, that is also on the agenda. Thank you.
Becky?
No comments, thank you.
Good. Debbie?
Still no comment.
Oh,
I just switched computers.
Oh,
And we do have Jennifer, she's been on line with us.
Yeah. Is that the whole group?
Yes.
I do notice some comments in the chat. I don't know if you guys are picking up on them or not. Sorry to interrupt.
I can't see that.
yeah.
I've got two.
I think some of them we can see it. Could you read them for us?
Yeah, there's one that came in that says DSAC is welcome to comment on the conditional use permit for Coffin View. With that said, the public comment period hasn't opened up yet. So it would be recommended that you wait until the public comment period is open. And said Coffin View landfill received 2 enforcement alerts last September. I believe that is the precursor to action. And he also said, maybe Brett can explain what these enforcement alerts signify, as my understanding to a precursor to enforcement action. That's it.
I don't have those in front of me, so I can't answer specifically to those at this time. I don't remember what those alerts were. So.
Are they a matter of public record if we look them up?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you, Beth. All right, let's move on. The next item on the agenda, we're going to welcome Sean McGuire, who is the Sustainability Coordinator for Benton County, and he's going to talk about NRAC, which is the committee that is doing.
Can we do something real quick? Can we just approve the minutes?
Oh, did I just?
Yeah, you skip.
Sorry, I just jumped in a little bit. Yes, so we have to approve last meeting's minutes.
Just don't move.
I actually did have like
You have a comment?
small corrections. David is listed as the interim vice chair. Bailey,
Sorry.
and I think there's some kind of weirdness where it's just like, I think I'm listed as the chair before I'm actually the chair, so,
Yeah, typo on my end.
yeah. Did anyone else have any notes or corrections? Would anyone like to second that Jeffrey's motion of amendments? All those in favor of approving the minutes from last time? Aye. Okay.
Opposed?
Ask who made the motion, who.
I made the motion. Charlene made it.
Second. All right,
Opposition?
anyone opposed to it? I don't think that you.
Motion carries.
David, did you do approve minutes or?
Don't worry about it.
I wasn't at the meeting.
Abstain.
Fair. All right, so the motion passes with one abstention. Sorry, Jennifer, I didn't get your vote. Were David to vote online?
Yes,
I'm,
I put up my hand.
Okay.
Okay,
and so did I.
yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, so now moving on to Sean. Sean's going to talk to us about NRAC, which is the committee in the county that's responsible for doing some of the evaluation of the expansion proposal.
Thank you very much. For the record, as you see, my name is Bailey Payne, and if you have complaints, you go talk to him. I'm John McGuire, I'm right to these doors in the Board of Commissioners office. Been here almost 10 years. I'm a sustainability coordinator. What I do is more on the long-range strategic planning. So I do the 2040 Thriving Communities Initiative, sustainable materials management plan. I'm facilitating that, if you've heard of that. And so that's kind of my role here in the Board of Commissioners office. Another one of my tasks is to staff NRAC, which is the Environmental Natural Areas Advisory Resources Advisory Committee. And yes, I was asked Bailey and Chair, you've asked just to come in and answer any questions. NRAC has been around since 2020. They were formally created in February of 2020, but nothing really happened in March of 2020. So that's they've been around. The predecessor you may have heard of is the EIAC, the Environmental Issues Advisory Committee. We did an analysis of some of our advisory committees, and so we suspended that, and then we created NRAC. Very similar, their charges, literally anything and everything under the sun. That's environment, natural resources in the county. They looked at water planning. We're looking at expanding some of the sustainability coalitions Shift Together campaign into our rural areas, and so that's some of the previous projects that we're working on. I don't know if there were any specific questions on the committee itself, but update you on their status of the review, which is going to be very, very quick. I'll just go to that. The decision for NRAC to be the reviewer of the CP application was over the summer. Then the application was deemed incomplete. And then now I think it's on the agenda later on. It's still being assessed to be complete. I'll be honest, in talking with community development, NRAC has the opportunity to review. We shared the full out the second application. We're kind of on a waiting, they're on a kind of a waiting pattern because they're still going through the process. And so once it's complete and identified this is the actual application, then we'll start the review process with community development. And Bailey and we talk so much, literally, I hit B and emails are automatically start flying. So we're in tight communication with that. So I did have another topic, but that's for later on. Were there questions? I didn't know if they were specific. Yes, sir.
I guess my question is, you have this disposal site advisory committee, which has presumably expertise in landfill and waste and all that, and it's being ignored to look at a broader committee that deals with all the environmental stuff. It seems to me that there should be some coordination here and involvement from DSAC in your activities.
First of all, the commissioners made the decision in the summer.
Yes.
And so just to give you the history.
Yeah, I know.
And so at the time, the issue was this was not specific in the charge that you're getting into later on in the meeting of what the charge of DSAC is. So that was the decision of why NRAC. To your second point, there's been no reticence to not be working together. We just don't have the application to review, which is why I'm sitting in this chair.
Okay.
So I think that's where we are. The next step, once we have an application, everyone has an application to actually review. That's why Bailey and I are talking so much. And no, there's no wall between this. So we're just waiting for it to happen.
Can you walk us through what the process will be for evaluating the proposal?
So when we're Bailey and I and Petra, the interim community development director, what we're hoping to do is somewhat similar in the past to what is the actual topics to be evaluated, and to come up with some sort of a matrix, however we want to call it, and to have the committee members research and look through those and evaluate what the impacts would be out of this evaluation of the application. And so that's what we're going to be, developing in the coming weeks. Whenever it's complete, we just go through, okay, this is what, because there's not a formal checklist. When SWAC did it before, it wasn't like, okay, there's nothing in code to say you need to be evaluating this. And so that's why it hasn't been developed yet. It's just because we don't have an application and we're going to be developing the framework, however we want to call it, once that's complete. So that'll be done before they start reviewing it, so they have an idea of what they think they should be looking at. Did that answer? I want to make sure I should.
I do.
Okay.
In a government way, but that's okay.
Yeah. I want to be doing this.
It's what you are. Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. So I'm assuming there's multiple levels of review, there's technical review, completeness, compliance with the requirements for a CEP. policy reviews and legal reviews. So there's all of this large process in play here. What's the time frame for that?
I don't want to overstep my bounds, even though
Yeah,
we have all the time,
that's-
but yes, it's 180 days and everything has that step-by-step process.
Okay.
Our county council, Ben Scrony, obviously has to look at it. We have, community development, looking at their components. So yeah, this is not one voice. It's pulling all these things together to give the materials to the planning commission who makes the first decision.
I think I read somewhere, maybe it's the paper or something, that you hired an outside consultant to help out on this.
Mhm.
Okay, so that person's involved as well.
I'm gonna have, I'm not throwing on the spot, but this is in your backyard now.
Yeah, there's, they hired a firm called Winterbrook to help with the analysis. They've done other landfill expansion requests and done analysis on others, so they came with some experience, which is why I think they were chosen.
Great, thank you.
And do you have a deadline? Does NRAC have a deadline for submitting feedback?
That's largely on community development and talking with Bailey and Petra. We have to backcast 180 days and to get, appeals and everything. So again, not knowing if it's going to be complete or not, we start backcasting. I would assume it would be input from NRAC would be something like at least 2 months before anything starts, to give it to the planning commission. The other thing is, again, as everyone knows, it's not like NRAC is the ultimate decider on this. Every entity has every person, these opening comments and the BOC or commissioners meet, so it's not just one and plus all the other agencies. And so this is going to be NRAC perspectives on this, just like every other committee has and every other ODF and W and all the other agencies that have wanted to provide input to the planning commission. So just want to say context that it's not just NRAC on their own.
So when we first met, so I'm fairly new also. So I only know that when we were at one of the first meetings, maybe October, they talked about any public comment should go to NRAC rather than to us, DSAC. DSAC's design was to take public comment. However, anything related to the expansion was supposed to go to NRAC. Is that correct?
That is not my understanding because we don't have a public. If that was, I want to make sure that was, that's not.
You didn't say it.
Okay, I'm like,
You didn't.
No, you
okay,
did not say it.
okay, I was in the audience, but I don't remember that saying. I know that County Administrator Rachel was here. NREC is not, I keep saying we, NREC is that the role is not to capture public comments.
Okay.
The role is to provide their perspectives, recommendations to the planning commissions on their view. And sir, I really appreciate your comment, like, yeah, this could turn into a Dickens novel in 5 minutes. I mean, how deep you want to go into this? So what is NREC's slice of this?
Right.
And that's all it's going to be. And so I just want to set expectation to everybody and anyone who's listening. It's a group of like you, less than 9 members who cannot possibly identify every little detail. This is NREC's. And ODF and W is going to have theirs, and planning commission is going to have their perspective, and everyone in the community. So I just want to set expectations with everyone and anyone who's listening that that's what it is. But no, I am not under any impression that at all that we get it. Planning commission, and I'm not speaking for you, but my understanding is there's going to be wide open to the planning commission for public comment. And so I would think that would be the warehouse. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, the planning commission is going to be the ones that really make the decision. Depending on what their decision
Commissioners don't make
is,
the decision.
depending on what the planning commission's decision is, it will escalate to the board of commissioners
Planning
and
commission,
potentially the LUBA.
right. So it goes planning commission, then the board of commissioners, and then LUBA. I'll be stunned if it's either way appealed as we go up. So
I'm really stupid, so I don't know what LUBA means.
land use, whatever. So
So
appeals, that's what I was.
so if the planning commission says it's a go, is it done? there, or it has to go to the,
Doesn't have to. it has to
County
be appealed.
commissioners.
Now, I'm gonna leave Vance, county, council to see exactly how that works out, but it can be appealed to the board of commissioners. They would have to make a decision. If that's appealed, my understanding is that goes to LULA, is what I'm. I used to be in community development 6 or 7 years ago, but I
okay.
lost my chops on that. But
Are there ways that you think DSAC could be of assistance to NRAD as you're evaluating?
I'm looking forward to an opportunity to have those discussion. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for shared, and this will get to the second topic I want to address. You do have a wealth of knowledge. And so I don't think that NRAC doesn't want to tap into that. So we had a meeting from 4:30 to 4 to 5:30 just now. I walked over here. So no, if there's any kind of weirdness here, like the NRAC doesn't want to talk, no, that's just wrong. I don't know where that came from, but that's not accurate at all.
So there's nothing to stop DSAC from taking a position that it advises into NRAC. We're an advisory body.
It wouldn't come to NRAC.
It would go to
It would go to the
the,
planning commission.
which is, okay. So
That's-
we're not constrained at all the way.
No,
it's-
and that's,
Okay.
somehow NRAC has become the Copernicus body, like everything revolves, no, it's not.
Hmm.
It is one advisory committee from the county
Right.
that the commissioners have identified, hey, look this over as from your perspective.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know what the bylaws specifically on DSAC do the formal, like you as residents can, I mean, there's nothing stopping.
We advise the commissioners.
Right,
That's
so
all
it's
we
like,
do. Yeah.
again, there's a lot of static going on, like, NRAC is doing no, please get that out, that's not the case. So every morning or the beginning of every BOC, first and third Tuesdays, you call the comment. Planning is gonna be patriotic days if it needs to, public comment, there seems to be a gross misunderstanding of what that is.
Also, the chair, the NRAC chair is on this call or meeting. So presumably he has some interest in what we're talking about.
I've also seen Patriot, did I talk out of line? I want to be very respectful.
Yeah, Petra, do you want to add anything to this?
No, and I just want to apologize. I'm already a little bit out of my work clothes. This is my third night meeting, so I was just going to be a deactivated participant. However, I'm happy to answer any questions this evening. Everything you're saying is correct, Sean, in terms of the process. You did it. Woo! But yeah, no, NRAC was just to meet the statutory and codified requirements. The BOC decided that NRAC would be the appropriate body, but that doesn't mean that any other committee, there's 32 other committees at the county, that they as a body or as an individual, as long as they identify themselves as an individual, can provide their opinion about this particular application. I absolutely invite that. I've added NRAC specifically as an agency referral partner, and because this is kind of a strange thing for me. I've been in land use in Oregon for over 20 years. So I'm kind of adding them. This is a unique entity in Oregon land use. But the other agency referral partners are the Department of Environmental Quality, the state aggregate, state wildlife, all the state agencies, City of Corvallis, Adair, a lot of those partners will have opportunities to comment because they also have vital interests in Coffin Butte, and NRAC will be on that list as well. But there will be an opportunity for any other entity to sign up as an interested party, which makes that entity viable for an appeal. And yes, regardless of what the Planning Commission decides to do, assuredly there will be an appeal to the Board of Commission. And then assuredly there will be an appeal as well, although it's not mandatory. I'm sure that will happen there as well. And so again, that will probably go to the Land Use Board of Appeals. And we do have between 150 and 180 days to complete that entire process. So again, I'm happy to answer any other kind of land use questions, but unfortunately, it's a highly prescribed process. But we're on it procedurally.
Thanks, Petra. Chuck, did you have a question?
Oh, I just wanted to make one comment. NRAC like us is a public meeting too, and on their July 10th meeting, which anybody can go through they went through all the process real good, and it's not to eliminate DSAC or anybody during the public comment process. And matter of fact, they were stating there that they were going to try to extend the public meeting process, so anybody can respond to that.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, that's when I keep mentioning Petra and Bailey came, that was the meeting where Petra laid out all the.
Yeah. And Rachel, if I could just have one extra 15 seconds, is that I added a couple additional accessibility elements in the last year that I've been here. It's been about a year here at the county. And that is when we have quasi judicial decision making with the Planning Commission. That means things that have public comments or public hearings, that type of thing that go to the Planning Commission. I've added a new page to the website that allows people to self-select to be interested parties. And that wasn't there before. So you can, instead of, the code says you need to write to the planning official to be an interested party. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just go right onto the website and put yourself in. You can self-select in, and you can self-select and opt out. So that's kind of a modernization feature. And then secondly, when the public comment period opens, there'll be a prompt that has a box that says the public period is open and how long it's going to be open. And you can click right on there, and you can actually reiterate your comments or just put in your cut and copy your written comments right into that section, and that will all be automatically put into the record. So that will help kind of automate that process and make sure that all of your comments verbatim are put into the record and into the staff report in a timely manner. So those are two additional ways that the public can communicate with the county to make sure that their comments are captured in the right time frame.
Thank you, Petra. Sean, I think there's something else you wanted to know.
I did any other questions on most? There's one procedural one that I just need to address that came over on Sunday and Monday that involved myself and the chair. There was some confusing emails coming from the former DSAC chair to NRAC, invitation to attend. I'm not commenting on about intentionality or anything, but it got very confusing on who was inviting NRAC to this meeting. And so that took much of Monday's day of trying to figure out how real that was. And I just want to thank the chair taking time out of your day to help figure that out. And to Jason, who I see is also on, Bailey and I are just asking if there's any correspondence or any emails to any NRAC member, if we could go through either the chair and or Bailey or myself. That's out of respect of any advisory, fairgrounds board or whatever it is. If there's hey, I invite you over here. I used to be on something, doesn't help. And it just leads in a lot of confusion, a lot of time on our part. So again, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day. Same thing for Jason on stuff.
Any other questions for Sean?
I really appreciate your time, and I really sincerely do look forward to working with you all. And I'm sure Jason said something similar on the line. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate it. And I think this next one is going to be very quick, which is just an update on where the expansion proposal stands. I think, Brett, we have you down on the agenda for now, but Paul, would you like to?
On the expansion, we're continuing filling out the required information. I've just been looped into that recently, so I can get back to this committee a little more detail as soon as I find out some more information, because I just got looped in this week
Yeah.
on a lot of that stuff, so I don't know, maybe, right?
Yeah. So what's the question exactly?
Oh, just where the expansion proposal stands at the moment. I believe you're waiting to hear back whether it's complete this time. Is that correct?
No, my understanding of where we're at is that we have until the 15th to submit documents that were asked for completeness, and that's the plan at this time, is to meet that deadline.
Okay, gotcha. And then do you know what happens after that? So you submit it by the 15th and then you.
So Julie and I were just talking about that, and don't quote me on this, but my understanding is that the 180-day process is really the first 30 days is review to look at it for completeness. And so that part of it, I believe, has been done. And then once it's submitted and deemed complete, then there's actually 150 days for the final review. So that's what I believe I know. Is that about right?
I think so. I might need another picture again.
Yeah, that's correct. You've got it
Also,
correct.
Public hearing 29th, that was delayed, is that?
That's on
That's
the
the-
that was the
Title
permit.
V.
Oh, that's Title 5, okay, so
Yeah.
got so much coming in, I'm getting
Yeah.
a couple things
Yeah,
confused.
so the clock would basically start, the clock would basically start on the 15th.
Yeah.
then?
Correct.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, moving right along, Sean, we're moving around the agenda a little bit, so you can stick around for the next discussion, excuse me, which is talking about DSAC's goals, its scope. Something that I believe in our very large packet, there's some text that starts on page 170.
Big thing. You did not think that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of old minute stuff in
There were.
there. I don't know, Bailey, is that something you could throw up on the screen, perhaps? So everyone can take a look.
In big bold print so old people can read it. Please.
Remind me what page?
I think it's
172.
170, maybe?
170 says DSAC scope and goals information.
That would be it.
Thank you.
And 172 is information about solid waste advisory committee and disposal site advisory committee. Why are they separate advisory committees?
I think what I'm looking for is actually the language from the state and the county codes, that starts in 174.
It doesn't.
There's some language before that, the relative duties of DSAC and SWAC, which is currently suspended. But we might be able to skip that for now. So I don't really have any, there was no particular agenda for this item. But since we have a bunch of new folks and there are a lot of questions over, how we work with Republic and, what our goals as a committee were, I thought it would be a good idea to just kind of regroup a bit.
Very helpful.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to be leaning on Bailey a little bit for this one because he just knows a lot more about policy and the context for all of this. But I think the main idea is that DSAC is a state requirement. And so there is state code related to DSAC's responsibilities. And that is, I believe starts at the very top, so Oregon ORS 459-20, which calls for Board of Commissioners to create a regional disposal site committee. And then I believe later down on that page, it outlines our specific duties. So review the siting, operation, closure, and long-term monitoring of Coffin Butte, provide a forum for community comments, prepare an annual report summarizing those comments, and other tasks and duties as the Board of Commissioners requests. Are those all clear to anyone, Chuck?
Well, yes, I look at it as a big umbrella, if you would. You have your state statutes here, you have your county statutes here, and then really what it grinds down to is our bylaws. So if you look at the bylaws, then it says reviewing with the committee of the regional disposal site issues, including but not limited to sitting operations, closure, long-term monitoring the regional disposal, and goes on right there. So that's really the gist of everything there. But then the trail is back from Benton County and so forth. Example is, we were in a discussion at SWAC one time where it said in our bylaws, a permit, and everybody said, well, it should add less confusion if we put DEQ permit in the SWAC there so we would understand it. But if you look back, that's what the state had, and the state referred to DEQ back there. So you've got to put it in context with Benton County and then the state. But I think the starting premise is start with your bylaws, and then if it's in the parameter or not, then you can go back that direction, makes it easier. Otherwise, you're going to have books and books of ORSs to figure it out.
So, I mean,
It's pretty vague and it's intentionally so, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In some cases, because SWAC and DSAC work pretty much the same, with the exception that Republic is on DSAC and they weren't on SWAC. The committee also took upon itself to do other planning exercises. For example, we work closely with Republic to look at disaster planning and how you might handle an enormous influx from an earthquake. Debris and all kinds of stuff that would increase your capacity, would destroy your capacity estimates. So the committee could do those sort of things. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. But I just see that this is just a general body to inform the public. I think it's helpful to have Republic at the table. And as part of the process to have that discussion rather than having them sit out there and have us throw things at you. And it's just a general informational body. I think that's why it's so big.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, excuse me. I agree in the sense that not every county has a SWAC, but not every county has a landfill. So to put it in context, DSAC is really to focus on the landfill, and then let it permeate from there how it integrates with the real world, so forth. So that's the only way I can keep a sense of it.
yeah, I like.
It's okay if I make a comment?
David?
Okay, well, I think, are we talking about kind of our, what we want to have our,
I think you managed to, you're on mute now.
okay, well, basically, I'm thinking that this is an opportunity because we have the people that are operating the landfill here, as well as people that receive information from the community to look at things and see if there's impacts that we need to look into. And I'm not saying necessarily that it means that there has to be work done by the landfill folks. It's just something we need to look at and see if we focus on safety, security, and sustainability, some pretty simple things, and ensure that the whole thing enables people that utilize or around it have a safe environment, and that things are not dangerous. That's the security part. And if we kind of focus on those, I think it'll help everything. And if we need to send messages to either NRAC or to the commissioners about something, we can. But it'd be nice if we work as a cooperative team.
David, are you saying to pick specific goals to look at, specific topics to focus on?
Well, I mentioned the overall themes. I think one goal is to let the county people that want to comment have a way to comment, and then we can distill what is being asked to find out. And then if there's impacts to the infrastructure, the inhabitability, the environment, infrastructure, for example, the roadways or access in and out to be able to go into the landfill, things like that are generally going to be the case for a landfill. I think we can help the community and the county do okay over the long term.
Yeah, thank you. I think, to a certain extent, being like a very new member, but my impression is that it's sort of been, like DSAC's, the things DSAC has chosen to focus on have been sort of reactive to the issues that the community has raised. Is that fair?
But they don't have to be, I guess that's the point.
Right.
And-
So we could choose a few priorities as a committee that
Yeah.
we think are important.
And we used to do that at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
We would lay out a few things like recycling, and Julie was part of this discussion a long time ago. Would we build a MRF here? There was a lot of discussion around that, and
Yeah.
The DSAC can just be that place to collect that information, and some of it may go nowhere. And some of it may spark some interest.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess my question would be, are there things that you think that we should focus on this year? That's true.
Well, I look at the public comments and then I look at what the political atmosphere is. And I think it's boiling down, and sustainability is entering into this now. But the relative stuff is when you wake up tomorrow morning, there's still 1 million tons of solid waste going into the landfill. So with that waste, there's a life expectancy on the landfill. And if you look at that process, then what's the element that will evolve out of that? So I think that's a very productive long, and when I say long-term, that's less than 10 years in the sense that time you identify that goal, work it through for engineering permits and everything else like that. And I think that's where you look at the city, and we need Republic's insight on that too, is what happens after the landfill fills and you still have 1 million tons of garbage coming in.
Right. I think that probably intersects a lot with SWAC, right, Billy? And what they're looking to do.
It did. And I think they're similar. I know this is statutory, but SWAC and DSAC were almost synonymous.
I don't think so, though, because when I read what the DSAC was supposed to be, it's supposed to be the people who live near the landfill and make up the dominant number of the people.
And then
on the
DSAC
committee.
and SWAC was
And that's
more
DSAC,
regional.
and SWAC can be anybody in the county.
Mm.
So I think that there's a meaning
Mhm.
for DSAC. I don't live close to the landfill, by the way. I totally, I'm a red herring on this committee, but I don't know what to say about that. But I think that if you look at DSAC's role, it's supposed to be to protect the community that lives near the landfill from the landfill if there is going to be environmental problems with the landfill. I think DSAC is supposed to take public comment, and if you read the state statutes, it's about public comment and about knowing what's going on. The reason they created DSACs was to keep the people who are near a landfill accounted for. So that's different than SWAC, which is totally, I'm here because I'm really interested in garbage. We make a lot of it. What are we gonna do with it? This is, I mean, and there's medical concerns. And so I'm a retired physician. I'm just gonna say that again because Paul wasn't here. And maybe some people forgot. But so like what happens to the environment and what happens to the people and what happens when there's leachate into the water and what happens with PFAS and what happens with toxins that are released. And so that's a concern to me. And so SWAC is, from my understanding, Solid Waste Advisory Committee, that's where that part gets dealt with on a broad scale for the entire area. DSAC was more specific for the people that were close to the landfill to be able to have a conduit to the people who worked at the landfill to say, hey, we're having problems with our air, we're having problems with our water, our well is crappy now, it's killing our cows, whatever. So I think that's what DSAC was about. This is just because
I don't, but it bled across, and I think that's,
I'm sorry.
it would bleed across.
It bleeds across, but I think DSAC, the makeup of this committee is probably a DSAC committee.
Mhm.
With a heavy soil and water, because I think Chuck's always been on. You were on the SWAC before, right?
Well, I was on SWAC too, but they go, I mean, what I'm looking at, they go hand in hand together, but what we're really talking about is whether you look at a local level with Benton County, everybody has waste streams, like you say.
Yeah.
Okay, so you collect those waste streams and where do they go? Well, for the last 40, 50, 60 years, they went to Coffin Butte. So with that, you've had a dependency of other counties relying on that waste stream. So if Coffin Butte closes, that doesn't mean that the waste streams are going to stop. You have to look at alternative plans for sustainability, and then what we could label as residual waste. It has to go someplace. And that's part of DSAC as well as SWAC and sustainability. They have to work the plan together. And I look at the base of that alternative is DSAC looks at the sitting operations of it collectively that should come up with a plan that complements Republic's collection of that waste stream and how we disperse it in a, if you want to, a circular economy. So it is, I don't think it's SWAC or DSAC. I think it's collectively DSAC now because this is the platform since SWAC in itself has been diminished. So that's where.
Thank you. I will say, so Bailey and I have talked a little bit about this, like, I know Bailey, you have plans you're working on reinstating SWAC in some ways, is that right?
Eventually, I don't think right now it makes sense, but maybe towards the end of the year, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are like big questions and, like really important ones. I do worry that they might be like slightly outside the scope for DSAC because we're focused on the disposal side and not like the trash that Benton County produces.
Well,
a whole big thing.
It says operations, so if we define operations, what are we dealing with? Waste streams.
I would say we're talking about the operation of the landfill itself. And, everything that's involved in like bringing trucks in and things like that. So I think it does extend beyond the physical site itself, but we might just for our own sanity, we might want to like be careful not to go kind of crazy.
Well, I'm not, it's just a matter of the relevance of it is we're bringing a waste stream in there and there's only service life on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's relative to DSAC.
Real quick, so just trying that, I was on SWAC for 16 years. So I dealt with both and Chuck and I wanted to. They have similar things. SWAC went much more local. Somebody wanted to have recycling services in the hinterlands. We'd recommend it to the county and to the Republic. But we also mostly dealt with the landfill because it's our primary focus here. So I think DSAC can be anybody. You said you have an interest in trash.
There's very specific, like how the county commissioners select the people. They have to be close to the disposal site.
They can be.
No, they have to be.
No, they don't though.
There's a percentage.
Well, there are three groups of membership. One is the site, one is people who live close to it, and then one is people from the county. Who reside in the county. So it's not all.
So I live probably the closest. I'm not sure, Chuck, you're close to.
I'm just inside this side of the river in North Albany.
Yeah, see, I'm 3/4 of a mile from the landfill.
Well,
So
I'm the closest. I think that's pretty obvious.
But I guess the point is, I see it as more global. And I don't think we can look at it. You have to be within X kilometers of a landfill because we're all kind of in this together anyway. I think one of the things that would be nice to see, and it's changing now, and I told Bailey this, when we were functional 6 years ago, because I left the country and just moved back, we were more interactive and less contentious. And I really would like to see that continue, because I think we're moving towards that. And we're not accusing people, because that's wrong. That's not what we're here for. So hopefully that continues to improve.
Okay, I do want to continue this discussion, but I also want us to be able to take a break. So I propose we break for 5 minutes and then come back and wrap things up. Sound good? Okay. We're reconvening. I did want to just wrap up our discussion about our goals. I feel like one thing that's come up is, I guess, the kind of elephant in the room is the expansion and how we want to kind of, like what we want our contribution to be as a committee, or how we want to help Howard to what we're hoping to do. I mean, we're in the unique position of having, being able to be in dialogue with the Republic and having the Republic representative on the committee. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. I feel like we, at the very least, should stay abreast of what's going on, but perhaps there are other
Yeah,
things that we
well,
should.
I just, a thought that I had in participating in businessy things for my career. Is there a way for this group to have a meeting with just one agenda, like a chartering meeting? What is it we are supposed to be doing? And how are we gonna get it done? And it might be separate from our regular monthly meetings. It could be, offsites, so whatever, but just a meeting to align our goals and objectives of what this group is supposed to be doing. And maybe it's just me, because this is meeting number 2 for me, so I'm a real newbie here, but I've been involved with a lot of things, and I'm feeling like I'm not quite sure how to plug into this thing.
An orientation, I think, would be really
Yes.
helpful. And, one of those, and that's like, there's like a retreat. It's not uncommon for a brand new city, which a lot of us are new pretty soon.
I'd like to say I'm in favor of some retreat, but determine what we're supposed to be doing too. Thanks.
Yeah. I wonder, hold on a second, Brett, you offered to take DSAC on a tour of the site last year. I wonder if that might be a good place to start.
That would be awesome.
Because then we can really kind of get a sense of.
And how can we best serve the process and the citizens of Benton County and work cooperatively with you guys, this throwing stuff, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It would also be nice to have DEQ just talk about the permitting process.
Absolutely, it would.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to.
I'd like to understand what the DEQ's review process. And, I looked at the last annual report and I just had a bunch of questions. It's like, that well looks funky, and I looked at the water, that looks funky, and this looks, I'd like to talk to Eric and, DEQ, and how are you guys looking at this stuff?
And that's,
So
we used to do that.
I love that idea. Yeah, I think that would be great.
I think it would too.
Okay, maybe we can plan on doing those 2 things first.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Did anyone else have anything they wanted to add, or? I have a feeling that our curiosity is gonna kind of lead us in different directions, like there's gonna be something that comes up and we're just, curious about learning more. We think that it's something the Board of Commissioners would like.
Yeah.
Probably want to
Our goal is to drive Paul crazy.
No,
You are the
already
resource.
there.
I mean,
Already there, yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
a lot of what we did, and Chili's been part of this, we would talk to you guys about what we want to know, because if we're asking, other citizens are asking too.
Absolutely.
And so getting that out in the open and discussing it makes sense.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Okay, sorry, Chuck.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I know that work sessions work real good because of the public meetings you still have to maintain when you have members together, but work session just limits to the topic that the chair wants to expand on stuff. And you can turn, I'll turn to Sean on this, you can turn one of the regular meetings into a work session stuff. So we may develop a concept, and then we've got enough elements that we really want to bring through. And then you can have the work session just on that golden topic.
Okay, great, that's really good to know. Great, unless anyone has anything else they want to add.
Start.
Can we move on? All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Sean, for
Thank you for
joining
the
us.
opportunity. Thank you very much. Good luck.
All right. It is on to everyone's favorite topic, past minutes from 2023. So there's a very long inclusion in the meeting packet. A lot of it is material that was the meeting packet for the meeting in question, which is October 25th, 2023. I believe the only thing that we really need to go over is Ken's changes and suggestions for that, which should be at the very top of that document. On the surface T, they look fine. You're gonna abstain.
Yeah.
Hmm. I wouldn't blame you. None of us, well, none of us were, no, Chuck was. But the only one who's here.
Yes, entirely.
Because I was online, I was a member of the committee.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find the page where it starts.
I think we need to put these minutes in so that they're public record. And we're all not, except for you, we're not on the meeting. If they're not correct, at least they are minutes.
I would,
Can we just tack on something that says that?
Yeah,
At the beginning, and
yeah.
then we just approve like, okay, these minutes are approved in that we never reviewed them, we don't know anything about them. And, you know, they're just,
Yeah, I'm sort of a procedural newbie. Bailey, is that something we can do?
It may be possible to just post the meeting recordings. While the minutes have been drafted, we wouldn't be able to post those because they haven't been approved. But in lieu of approving the minutes, it's my understanding we could just post the meeting recordings and it's there for anyone who wants to review. I mean, I'd like to see the minutes approved, but I understand there's
Can we caveat the motion to approve the minutes with, we move to adopt the minutes of the meeting with the understanding that there may be gaps or omissions that we cannot rectify?
Excuse me.
Well, that might be possible. I don't know.
I like that concept, but just from the standpoint of where there's discrepancy between the recording, that we adopt the minutes and they can be reconciled later against there. So you got both elements.
Sure.
Video, yeah.
So what we decided on last time was that the other ones, we were going to include like a little disclaimer at the top and say, these minutes may be incomplete for a full record or a more comprehensive record, refer to the transcript. So we could just do that here.
I think that's reasonable.
And just add that disclaimer, and then explain that in addition, not all of this meeting is recorded or something like that.
Because there is a section that's missing on that one, yeah.
So just put a disclaimer on top.
Buyer beware.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll run that by our council and see if that is satisfactory.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes with that kind of disclaimer at the top.
So moved.
And I'll second it.
Thank you. Everyone in favor of doing that?
Aye.
Abstention.
Thank you. We have an abstention from Paul and
Yeah.
David.
You weren't here.
That's
okay. We weren't, well, I was online, but I wasn't a member.
Well, I thought it was a misprint at 23 and.
No.
Yeah, there's a big. Was. Okay, great. Moving right along, we kind of need to decide on our meeting schedule for the rest of the year. So we're required to meet once or 4 times a year. I'm kind of inclined to meet more often than that, especially during the expansion proposal activity, just because there's just going to be a lot of stuff happening related to this disposal site. Does everyone feel okay with continuing to meet monthly for now?
Easy on me.
Jeff is totally fine.
Get out. I totally agree with it.
He's not really here. I'm fine with that, but I'm wondering, can we like limit public comment to 4 times a year? Or do you think that we should be taking public comment at every, because I'm just thinking maybe the next session would be a work session rather than maybe we have
I feel
an
like,
outing. We go to
Yeah.
disposal
I
site.
think going to
In the
landfill is
daytime,
useful,
you know?
really is helpful.
I mean, is it a requirement, Bailey, that we have public comment at each meeting? The public can reach us in other ways, for sure.
I imagine so,
They say we have to meet
you know,
4 times a
I
year.
wouldn't, of course, want that to
We
be
call it work session.
a regular thing that we're not allowing for public comment, but like the very first meeting we had when DSAC was resumed back in July, we didn't invite public comment because it was just set to be an orientation, for the new members.
Right.
So I think that's possible, but I'll need to verify.
Okay.
One comment, if the next meeting, you know, like we need to do a meeting where we figure out what the heck we're doing. That's independent, that could be without public, but there is the trick that there's this 180-day, whenever the public comment period happens right after the phase for the landfill certification or whatever. We need to be able to hear people during that time, whenever that is, at least once.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Sure.
so, yeah, it sounds like we should at the very, so if we meet next month and have it be a working session, then we should probably meet in March and make sure to invite public comment. Right. Okay. Why don't we plan on just meeting monthly and to the first half of the year and reassess? Does that sound good? Okay. I get a thumbs up from David online. And Jennifer agrees. Okay. The next item on the agenda is approving the 2022 Coffee Butte Landfill Community Concerns Report. So this is one of our requirements as the committee. And I don't know if you'll remember, but we've looked at this before. And the big item that I think Charlie flagged was that it was missing a bunch of the talks trash input was condensed down into like a single item, and then there was like a graph showing the breakdown of complaints. So I think those have all now been broken out into the individual comments. I think that was the main change. Was there anything else? Yeah.
Wasn't there was a pie chart in there that we kicked around and Bailey was gonna go noodle around with it?
I deleted one of them that the group didn't want. That was looking at how many vehicles visit Coffin Butte each year. So I eliminated that, and there is a pie chart that shows the kind of breaks into themes what the complaints related to.
Yeah, so it's there now on the cover sheet of the report.
Okay.
Take a look at mine.
Yeah, I know. So my computer with me.
Rachel, out of curiosity, Bill, there was, this is judging my old memory up here. We were discussing the fact that some of those complaints wouldn't be listed because they were listed as resolved or something, even though did that ever get sorted out?
A lot came in through the Benton County Talks Trash process.
Yeah.
And so I listed just, you know, there were many comments that came in through the BCTT process. And then DSAC asked me to read through the report and pull out all the individual comments. So that's what's been added since the last version.
So the pie chart at the front, they're still all condensed into one wedge, all the BCTT comments, right? You didn't.
Oh, no, I categorized those complaints and added that in, updated the pie chart.
Is there anything that you want to bring our attention to, or? Okay.
No.
Since we're doing the 2023 report.
That's
I would move that we accept the report.
2022 now, Paul.
I'll go backwards.
Yeah.
19, yeah, next year we'll be doing the 2019 one.
I'll second it.
And hopefully we get past this retro stuff, or you get past this retro stuff.
All right, so I'll bring it to a vote. All those in favor of approving the 2022 Coffin Butte Community Concerns Annual Report?
No one's gonna read it anyways.
I think we're, Jennifer, are you good with that? David Heflin says yes online. What's that? Okay,
We're good.
all right, that passes. Bailey, can you remind me where it goes now? It goes to DEQ, gone play.
Yeah, it'll go to the Board of Commissioners and the.
I did want to circle back a little bit, on our theme of moving backwards. So in reviewing the minutes from last meeting, we didn't go over some action items that were listed. I just wanted to go through those. One was, actually not an action item, but related to something that we passed last time, which was, David Happelman's fire report. Bailey, do you want to update us on where that stands?
Yeah, thank you. So I brought the fire report to the Board of Commissioner, or actually I brought it to the Assistant County Administrator. And he and my director, Petra, had a discussion about the fire safety report and kind of and also with County Council was there and kind of looking at the what the role of DSAC is and how to best bring things forward. And what they think would be a better approach for the fire safety report is that we vet it a little more, have more conversation with Republic to find out whether or not that's even something that Republic's interested in. If they are, that maybe there's some barriers, cost could of course be one. Maybe they're looking at different technologies and trying to make a decision. So whatever those, they'd like us to develop it a little bit more in conversation with Republic. And then I think the idea being if we hit a impasse where, you know, the committee feels that this is a good idea, the fire safety, for example, but there could be other things that come up like odors, methane emissions, that they really want us to work a lot more with Republic to try and come up with some sort of proposal or something to bring to them. So my suggestion is that we either create a subcommittee to explore this a little deeper with Republic Services, or we, you know, set aside a fair amount of time on our agenda to dive into it a little deeper.
So would it be fair to say, like, the issue is that it's, all of our recommendations are flat, like, it's hard to evaluate the pros and cons of each one, they're all just sort of like, you know. But a person on the site to look for fires, you know, set up drones, like, they're all equivalent, and it's hard to know.
Prioritize.
Yeah, I think they want more.
Can I comment on this since I wrote it?
Yeah.
There is nothing in that report that requests Republic, for example, to take, buy or do anything. It only asks that we have monitoring for fire safety, and how that's done is really up to whoever's doing it. It's either the county, Republic, or somebody else.
And Brett, you reported back last time that you were looking at this and had in your budget options to do certain things.
Yeah, correct. I mean, we're, in all transparency, nothing is approved yet. We're still vetting it. We are working with a vendor. The latest update is that we asked the vendor to verify that their equipment would work on site, because if you've been at Coffin Butte, you know that cell phone service is spotty at best. We recently updated our internet service at the Scale House to Starlink, and we're doing the same at Pacific Region Compost. So this company did come and, well, they didn't come out, but they did some analysis, and they themselves are also thinking that the way to go is Starlink with this. And again, it's a portable detection system that's ran off of solar, but then it has to have a communication way to call somebody if it detects a hotspot or something like that. So we're still vetting it out. We're still trying to figure it out, but we do have about $100,000, I would say, in the budget. But if you know a corporation, that means there's a placeholder there, and we have to, we have to prove that the money is worth spending before we go and do that. So my understanding is that it's in the area of capital budget, but we're still vetting it out.
So Billy, would that be something that would be addended to the report to basically say, here's our recommendations? Here's what Republic has already proposed doing. So we're kind of getting at what the council would want us to say.
Exactly.
So can we amend our report? And can we get a paragraph from you guys? That goes into the report that responds?
Yes.
It doesn't commit you to anything, it just says you're trying.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like you would
Yeah,
also.
I'm trying not to commit anybody to any expenditure at this point, just the awareness and that action is taken sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's the report and an amendment to the report, but then there's the question of like updating the Board of Commissioners as things progress. I guess we can just send some updates as needed. Something like that.
So do we keep fire awareness on the agenda and every meeting, just kind of ask, Brett, what's going on? Then
Or
we-
Paul, we'll put Paul on the spot all
Good.
the time. I think that makes sense, just kind of see where it stands.
But maybe figure out, I don't know if you want to develop something that we can attach to the report that responds to that concern about, that basically doesn't leave it blank that you aren't doing anything, you're working on it. Which I think is
Yeah,
I
important.
think we can,
Yeah, we can put something together.
Okay. And then you can do it as an addendum.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, let's do that.
So there were a couple other action items, I thought.
Yes, sorry, my computer is, go to sleep.
Hmm.
So, a few things have these, so I guess there was the question of the other, approving the other ancient minutes. Bailey is actively working on that, I understand. He's getting transfers for all of those meeting minutes. Is that right? Okay, so that's just still in progress for now.
All right.
There was a question about methane, and how much landfill gas is collected at the site versus how much just kind of escapes into the atmosphere. I think that's also called fugitive emissions. Bailey, I think did you reach out to Republic for that? Or were you looking for?
I reached out to PNGC, who is the company
Runs
that
the-
processes the landfill gas, have not heard back.
Okay.
They're gonna know what's collected, but they're not gonna know what's fugitive.
Right.
We were trying to get a feel for the perspective of how much, like the methane that was detected by the flyovers versus how much is burned and what percentage that represented was kind of the discussion point.
Yes, I think Paul and I can speak
yeah,
in generalities to that. I mean, obviously there's modeling that we do.
right, yeah.
So I don't know, Paul, if you've got
I have
notes.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'll let Paul share it, but I mean, obviously it's not, we don't have a system to measure every ounce.
It's
but
not
we have
that
a-
quantitative.
Yeah, so I'll let Paul speak to it, because we did come prepared with that.
Yeah, so our last gas model was completed in 2023 and we'll be completing a new gas model the spring of this year. So looking at the gas model from 23, our efficiency was estimated about 70% for 24 and 73% in 2023. This is the total amount of methane generated in 2024 was about 3923 to 4100 SCFM throughout the year on average, every day, every minute. The loss in flow was largely due to, we did lose some flow between 23 and 24 was largely due to the commissioning of the new enclosed flare construction project. So we had some changeover. We did lose a little bit on that.
And we're adding, we added wells and lines,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
the system's not able to collect at 100% when we're adding wells and
Right.
more collection.
yeah, exactly. The average flow to the power plant was about 1,648 SCFM. The percent of total flow collected going to PNGC was about 58%. And we're continuing to have conversations with them because they're planning on expanding their facilities. And I know this has been a talk for quite a few years. And I think we're really going to start gearing those up as we, build our new cell. The expectations, we're going to start collecting more gas, and we need them to take it and be able to handle, and they've talked about wanting to expand as well. So basically that's kind of where we are right now. So, but yeah, until we get them expanded, I think and we get little adjust things here and there, I think we'll start seeing that collection efficiency increase throughout this next year as I get into more of the gas side and really start revamping it and trying to close everything off, as it were.
Gotcha. So just so I understand, the 70% efficiency figure that you mentioned at first, that's captured versus fugitive, or?
That's basically what we're taking in because everything's flared up. So the plant's using about, they say 58%, and the overall efficiency, everything else is flared off basically. So there's some discrepancy that we're trying to figure out why this is. And I think it's just because of the new flare and get everything in. So.
But I think the real question is you're wanting to know how much we're collecting compared to the overall generation of the site. And I think the answer is about 70%.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And then
of that 70%, 58% of it is being used at PNGC, and the rest of it is being flared off.
Right.
And so that's the answer.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the 70% is your model prediction, correct? One of the things we were discussing was to put some perspective on what the flyovers we're seeing, kind of what proportion of what you think you're generating is that represented? And I don't know how you do that with your model, but is there a way to do that?
I mean, to me, it says that if we think that we're 70% efficient, that the amount that you're seeing is 30%.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it says
Yeah, I
to
know,
me.
but it'd be interesting because that's a chunk of.
So those carbon matter figures that Ken pulled last time, are those like consistent with the magnitude of what you'd expect from that 30%?
I think they fluctuate. So if you look at probably over time, it'll change. It goes up and down. It's a constant challenge to tune the field to get it right. And so you can walk around the field like I do, and you won't smell anything, but carbon map will fly over and all of a sudden you see something. So being on the field and actually at the same time that they're flying there's a discrepancy there. And obviously your nose is not going to pick up those molecules like carbon mapper will. So it's always a challenge to be out there tuning the field to get it right, to optimize your draw from the field to the power plant and to the flare. So it's a constant.
Why does it change so much over time?
I think it depends on the decomposition of the waste mass, and just the environmental effects within that waste mass and how it's decomposing, and the rain and it percolating through and how that accelerates. And that's why we put a lot of that grifflin, right? Grifflin on top to keep the odors down as best we can and to help everything stay inside the waste mass and not escape. So
I guess I'd like to jump in here. This is Jennifer. So I think you've already said this. So the 30%, so you have 70% modeled capture, 30% release. And that's, and Rachel just asked that whether that agrees well with the carbon mapper. So if I understand this correctly, the designation of the landfill as having, high methane emissions is based on 30% release and 70% capture. So if we had a lower percent capture, presumably the methane emissions would even be higher, correct?
I didn't understand the last sentence.
So if you say the capture is less,
if all of a sudden we're only capturing 50%, then yes, 50% would
Emissions are
be.
gonna go up.
if the power plant and the flare went down, we lost power, then you would see a complete, you would see an increase, yes. So
You said
this,
23, in 2023, the capture was 73%.
what did I say? It's
What is your eventual goal? Because
goal, the goal is complete capture.
That's a
yeah,
That, the goal is
ideally,
ideally you want to capture 100%. Is it realistic? No landfill can capture 100% unless you put a bubble over it. That's just. that's-
Yeah. I'm a little confused about one thing too. I think if the flare is operating, then that means it's burning the methane, and what would be coming out would be carbon dioxide. So is
Yeah.
Carbon Mapper looking at CO2 or at methane?
You don't get any CO2 really out of the flare. You'll get CO and not nitrous oxide. And that's
Yeah,
about
but
it.
you don't get methane.
No, you do not get methane. Destruction, usually methane is greater than 99.8% on these full type of flares.
Okay, so then the question is Carbon Mapper looking at CO then, or is it looking at methane? Or is it doing both?
There should be just looking at methane, I believe. I would have to verify that, but I'm pretty sure just methane right now on the ppm level.
Okay, so that doesn't help us really on the methane.
Yeah, I'll have to, I'll verify that.
Is the 70% capture efficiency kind of typical for what you guys see in landfills around the country that you?
Yeah, it varies depending on the
Yeah.
location, 70, 80%.
Kind
Yeah.
of like right to me. I think this group, I'll speak for, trying to get our heads around these Carbon Mapper readings, are showing these really super high levels.
Mhm.
And yet we're getting 70% capture. And
How do they
why,
test- how do
does
they
that make
test?
sense
Yeah.
to you guys? That's all. And I think if we could get our heads around that, it would be good for all of us, I think.
Oh, well, actually, you should be able to compute the amount of methane coming out. If you believe you get 70% capture, then you can estimate how much methane total there would be. If, it is kind of a guess, but
Question we were asking is.
Yeah, I would
So
have to
can you compare that to what Carbon Mapper is?
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, take a cubic foot per second and then figure out what that really means.
I'd
in
have to-
terms of
yeah, I'd have to-
Tons per, yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
have to
there
look
does,
at
there
that.
seems to be something that's not lining up quite.
Right.
Yeah, that's all.
Right, well, I mean, it sounds like it's intermittent, right, or very variable.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look at the Carbon Mapper. I don't have access to the site yet, and I'd have to look at the frequency of flyovers and see how it shifts over time, because that's just a moment in time. And 2 hours later, it could be completely different.
Yeah.
So at the time it flies over, we could have had an upset in the field where, say, there was an accident, a line broke, and we're working to repair it. That could definitely flag something that is not truly representative. So I'll have to look at the Carbon Mapper over time to see how things, change over time to see if it's valid,
Yeah,
I
I think that's what you would need, right, to compare apples to apples. You would
Yes,
need
yeah.
Your estimate, your daily average estimates, and then
Mhm.
some average for carbon
Yeah.
data, so not discrete things,
Yeah.
yes.
First, a comment from Ken. Carbon Mapper just looked at methane for Coffin Butte. They look at other forms of carbon for other installations. Carbon Mapper is publicly available at carbonmapper.org. And just one thing I'd like to add to, EPA has some different models for assessing methane. There's one called Land Gem, which factors in how much waste is currently buried, what the capacity is over years. You enter in the tonnages accepted for each year, and that program should be able to give some estimates as well. And so the DSAC could pursue looking into this tool, this EPA tool, Land Gem, and then see how that compares to the estimates from Carbon Mapper and what Republic is saying too.
I think would be helpful.
Okay.
Perspective.
Can I just test everyone's temperature? I mean, are there people who are really interested in pursuing the methane question, or maybe like to form a subcommittee to keep looking at it?
Well, Rachel, my thought on it is that the Carbon Mapper's numbers are big. and compare them to, and I think that just needs some more to
Okay.
put people's minds at ease or not at ease, you know, that maybe it's big and it's a big dang problem.
Yeah.
But
That's fair. Yeah, why don't we keep it just in the general okay for now? Like, I think we're all kind of curious about what these overall numbers mean.
yeah.
Excuse, I'd be happy to chat with you guys at Republic and we can see if this is data or just noise, you know, between. We see their carbon mapper and other stuff if you'd like, if that would be good for the committee.
Yeah, good. So you would work with Paul on it,
Come back. Yeah.
One quick question, on your energy conversion at 58%, is that standard for most other people for conversion of per ton of solid waste? Or can you increase that? How do you regulate with your vendor getting higher capacity of draw of the gas in your
Being pulling gas.
pulling gas?
So their engines can only handle so much SCFM
Okay.
per unit. And so they're pulling as much as they can and everything else goes to the flare.
Yes.
So
Okay. Well, are they, or is there a reservoir capacity in there still?
They've been at capacity for years.
Yeah, and a lot of times they're not running all 5 units. Sometimes they have to service one and then excess goes to the flare right away. So
are you saying that if you add more pumps out there, you can get a higher capacity, or?
you add more engines, you could probably pull more, I think, as well. So you put.
So can you get, is it profitable to add more engines? I guess really what it boils.
You'd have to talk to the gas company or the power company.
Yeah.
We've been, I think it's been years.
Yeah, what I would say is that, yes, it's profitable. I mean, I guess there's several avenues here, right? In that we initially reached out to PNGC, saying, hey, look, we believe that there's excess gas being burnt off that would justify additional capital investments on your end. And because we have a contract with them, we have to give them the kind of the first right of refusal to say, yeah, we want to do that. And whether or not they take that gas and put in more generators or they put it out into renewable gas, that's kind of up to them. But we're asking them to utilize it because obviously we get paid for it when they use it. And so if they don't want to do that, then we would take it upon ourselves. Now, they haven't said that they don't want to do that. We're still working with them on that, but we're also working on our end as far as improving the gas collection system. Paul has, a lot of knowledge. And so we're looking at ways that we can improve the gas collection, whether it's more consistent maintenance, more consistent pump maintenance on the wells to remove leachate so that the vertical lines can pull more gas. We found some scaling in the lines, and so we're addressing that with some other solutions. So we're working on our end to try to improve the efficiency of the collection and also trying to make sure that we're finding somebody to utilize the gas, whether it's PNGC or ourselves.
So we could use, if you will, each year your efficiency ratings to see if they're going up as a standard then? Or at least they stay at that consistency, not go down.
Well, I think what we're saying is that PNGC, we don't run that site. We know that they've got 5 generators and they have a normal service and PM process to where they have to pull down an engine at a time. And so they're only going to be able to burn so much. So if the landfill grows and we're producing more, then the utilization number would go down because they don't have the capacity to burn more. It would just be flaring off more.
Yeah, and that limit to that flare there's a certain limit to that flare too. You can't, so you add another flare if they don't,
I guess what I'm saying is just for the community, if you're saying that's your efficiency on your energy is coming out at 50%, then you're burning off 40 some percent.
We throwing money up to.
Yeah, basically, you don't
So-
want a flare, you wanna put the power into. the
Right,
system.
but I guess
To be
really
fair-
instead
to be
of
fair,
looking
Chuck,
at that, those would be two good samples to be looking at each year to see if there's balance to it.
And
Yeah.
Chuck, I think the answer to that is yes, that's why we're at the point right now where we're having conversations with them about either adding another generator or finding a way to utilize the RNG that comes off of the landfill. There's kind of a tipping point, so you have to sort of build up to that, and then there's a point where it makes sense to add that other generator and make it utilized, but in that middle ground,
Yes,
it probably isn't as efficient.
Yes.
So I think
Yeah.
we're right there, and that's why we're having those conversations right now.
good. It's just a balance where we know we can look at something and the community knows it.
And remember, the PNGC's members include Consumers Power.
Yes.
They buy from it and we are members, many.
So I guess I have a question now. So I'm hearing that if the landfill grows, which again is part of the expansion plan, is there a plan to install a proportional number of gas wells such that the total flux of methane doesn't actually increase? Because that's the issue, right? You want to recover the energy, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a landfill engineer. Part of the flare is to convert methane to a less potent greenhouse gas. True?
Correct, yeah, so as we put in new cells, we do put in wells. We also replace old wells with new wells that may have pinched off because of movement, so we might put new wells in where there's a gap in the field. We're always putting new wells in as the new cells get put in. And if you even exclude the expansion with the cell that was just built, as that gets activated, we put wells as we go up. So we're gonna be producing more gas. So that's gonna drive the power plant to really incentivize them to expand and take up more gas, because we're at that tipping point where, look, we're gonna start producing more gas. So you either put a new power plant, new engine in, or we have to put another flare in to flare it off. We don't want to flare it off. We want to give it to them. We're building an RNG plant. That's the most economical solution, but you always going to have a flare for as a fallback, because if the power plant goes down, you have to be able to burn it off if something happens.
Correct.
So the flares are always a fallback regardless.
So what you're saying, you're successful when you have no flares is really what it boils down to, although the real world says you do have to some.
Real world, you're always going to have flares. I mean, you're going to have to, and even when have the power plant going, you're still going to have a flare off of excess, because you're always going to have some dribble of excess gas that you're going to have to flare off.
So what's not flared and what's not pumped off, then it either stays resident there or escapes into the
Potentially escapes, it'll find its way out, yeah. And we do monitor, self-monitoring each month to determine where there are shortfalls, so we can, rectify them by either covering with additional soils or covering with the Grifflin to secure, to make sure, and that we do that every month, basically. I think it's every quarter. Can't remember.
I think it's quarterly.
I think it's quarterly here, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm used to monthly, so I apologize for misspeaking.
And I was gonna add that adding wells is part of the mitigation. So when we have the site walks and they find these exceedances, that's when we come in and we try to resolve it by putting in additional cover to prevent it. And then if that doesn't prevent it, then we come back and we add.
We drop wells in, yeah.
We drop wells to try to pull the gas from that area. And, I know we've stated many times that, we're 3 times industry standard. I know that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. It's like, well, you're still, having methane loss. But to Paul's point, we're always gonna have loss. We're never gonna collect 100% of it.
Yeah.
But we do try to put in wells and vertical lines when we can't mitigate with cover.
Yeah.
And I'll just add to that, I think the idea of coming out for a landfill tour can really help make this more clear. I mean, the wells it's really obvious to see what's happening with the wells. They're sort of a living system, if you will. And as the landfill compresses and expands, the wells move as well. So there's a lot happening with that system. And I think it really is helpful to see that and to see why we try to be 3 times the industry standard, because we know that the wells are not a perfect system, and that walkabout and finding those leaks when we're doing that
allows us to remediate that at the time, whereas something like Carbon Mapper doesn't really tell us that kind of information. So there are two separate, I think, kind of ways of gathering that information.
I just have a question, Megan, and maybe when we do the field trip to the disposal site, it will help us. But when you say you do a walkabout, do you have a measuring tool that tells you if there's escape besides your nose?
I don't know what you guys use.
So, yeah, so to my knowledge is that they come on site and they have a grid that they walk and they're supposed to have a,
Stuff, yeah.
have a sniffer that's like so many inches off the ground. And they're not supposed to stick it into holes and they're not supposed to hold it 3 feet off the ground. It's supposed to, it's a
10
surface.
centimeters.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to hold this little tube and it's in a little analyzer. And they go, and it's the same unit that EPA uses for their visits. And you walk grids and you find these surface emissions. It's called surface emission monitoring. As they find those, the corrective actions to go back and fix those. And sometimes if it's around a well, all you have to do is bring soil around the well, because as landfill settles, it opens up around the well, and you just bring more soil, and that usually keeps it, and they'll come back in the corrective action, and they'll make sure that that area is now free of any emissions. So yeah, every quarter they'll come out and they'll do this grid over the whole landfill. And even our techs or I walk the field, and if I smell something or I hear something, I'll mark the well and say, hey guys, we need to fix this well because the gasket's broken or the well popped off or something like that. So it's a constant monitoring event. We just don't put something in and let it go.
Just a question, if I may, that's the standard here, and it's an EPA standard, so I think it would be consistent in other states, but is that what you are using in California too?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much an industry standard, and there's certain units that EPA, whether it's California, Oregon, whatever, or even the local, like South Coast Air Quality Management District, LA area, they have their own units, and there's specified a unit. You can only use that unit for verification. You can't use any other kind of unit for verification.
Yeah, that's why, there's been some talk about, well, why don't we use other technology? Why aren't we using the carbon mappers? Because this is what EPA approves as the process. So we have to follow the rule.
Yes, you are, because the CFR dictates that, and that's where the.
Right, and we can't argue the point where if the EPA comes out and does an inspection, they do a site walk and they're using this and say, well, we did this, measured with this, and we didn't pick everything. They're gonna say, well, whatever.
Too bad.
Because you're not really checking with what we designed and, determined as a standard piece of equipment to study, and there's multiple types of, we can use internally different types of things just to help us. But when it comes to compliance and everything, there's only certain things that you want to do and piece of equipment that you want to use to verify anything that an inspection or a entity as EPA or DEQ comes out and uses.
So the aggregate of your inspections, if you will, you add those together and take an average, then your residual, your energy capture, your efficiency of your flares, you can see what the true percentage is. Could you not get a better balance on that? Which
for the sidewalks?
Yeah.
That's another snapshot in time.
Right,
over.
But everything is a snapshot in time when you kind of want a standard. In other words, what I'm saying is that realistic, you have a 58% here, 77% here. And then if you get with your sites picking up, there's a percentage of escaping there on that given time. That drives a sample for you to just say, okay.
I could see where you're going with that.
It's just to get some.
I have to really think about.
Maybe that's something that you and David can talk about, is just
How to portray it.
like how, you've got all these numbers floating around, how do you reconcile them and make sure that but ideally, right, you'd have one measurement that you can cross-check in some other way.
Right, yeah.
And also, just to throw in some more confusion, the models that we use to determine how much methane may be coming off of Coffin Butte landfill are just that, they're just models, and they have certain assumptions built into them. For example, the assumption from you is that there's the same amount of organic material as there might be in a state that doesn't collect organic material. We know that we pull as much organic as we can get people to comply with out and compost that material. So are we really making as much methane as the model assumes? Maybe, maybe not. We just don't know because they're models. There isn't a way to measure fugitive emissions exactly. We can measure how much is captured exactly, but we can't really measure how much is generated.
But your model is consistent.
We're
for
using
that.
a model, yeah, we're using a model that
That's right.
EPA tells us to
Right.
use.
Do you ever hear the quote, all models are wrong?
Yeah.
Some are useful.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
And see, that to her point, it says the model that the EPA tells us to use, which probably has these assumptions that aren't true over time. So if you're assuming you're taking X amount of organics, that really will skew your emission rate
Right.
when it's not really a valid. So how much, what's your level of confidence in that when you do that?
I'm gonna,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a pin in this discussion for now.
We can
But Paula, I'm glad you and David are gonna work on this a bit, because I think we have more questions. It's a lot to get our heads around. So, last item, we're just gonna wrap up real quick. Last item is request for agenda item. I think if we end up doing a working meeting next meeting, then I think we just we don't really need to come up with a formal agenda. We can go over the meetings or the minutes from today and then just kind of set our agenda during that meeting. Does that sound good?
Hey, real quick, I see a question on there that's, somebody's asking about what Paul talked about cover, and I think what they're talking about is Griffland. So I can explain it or Paul can explain it, doesn't matter to me, but it's a temporary cover. So after we're done in an area of the landfill, and we're not ready to put like a permanent cover on it, we bring in like a heavy tarp, heavy plastic material, we call it Griffland. So we put it over the top of the landfill, we put bags, sandbags on it to keep it down. And the whole point is to try to keep rainwater out of the landfill and have it run off the tarps as stormwater instead of leachate, which we have to pay to process. So we put that on there as temporary. It could be on there for anywhere from months to several years, but it allows us to pull it back and go back in and add more waste if we need to, if we haven't gotten to the right elevation. But it's a temporary cover until we do permanent closure on the landfill. And so that's the answer. It's just like a heavy duty tarp.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you to Jeff.
He's gone.
He's already gone.
Good night, right?
He's headed back to the entities.
She'll be right.
And who has served on DSAC, how long have you been on this committee?
16 or 17 years.
16 or 17 years.
Since the last landfill expansion. That's how I got to know you.
So thank you so much, Jeff. I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I have one real quick.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to back up time a little bit. For the next meeting, when will you send out the date for that meeting?
Oh, I mean, we can decide on that date right now. So usually we have the meeting on the second Wednesday of the month.
So that would be, I'd be out of town next month because I have to move here permanently, so.
Oh.
I'd miss the out of my.
We can talk about you.
Yeah, so that would be the 12th of February.
I will be back down in California moving, packing up everything, so.
But would you be able to stand for that meeting?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll warn you, you're gonna fight with my wife. My wife owns a flower shop and that's Valentine's week. Oh, but yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I'll be here.
I'll be cleaning the house with my wife on.
All right, so let's plan on February 12th. I need someone to move to adjourn the meeting, so.
Moved.
In a second. Everybody, adjourning. Thank you all so much. See you in a month.
Actually, if you want to do it the other way, when you propose the meeting and you adopt the agenda
Yeah.
at the beginning of the meeting, then you don't have to